Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that brew well. Peace and blessing be multiplied on all you brethren, pushing this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect out there. All right, I'm the brother Dama Agabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. And as I was, standing up on my watch and, getting my daily dose of reading articles and seeing what's going on around the world. All right, one of the articles that struck out the most was this one, dealing with the UK set to launch controversial digital ID system in 2025, sparking privacy concerns. All right, and I just did a lesson maybe earlier this week dealing with Australia doing the same thing, which, as we know, this is the system that's going to lead to the MOTB, which is the mark of the beast. And as being prophets and men of the Lord, it's our job to come out and to blow the trumpet and to give you warning. All right. And this is showing you that, these devils are rolling out this system that's going to eventually lead to the MOTB. All right. And these things will eventually become mandatory. You see, and this is how they're setting the trap in order to bring the whole world into this new system. So like I said, well, eventually, it'll be on your phone, it'll be with apps, it'll be like a digital wallet form, but eventually it's going to come in the form of a micro C hip, the sign of the size of a grain of rice. And you see, and this is where our faith is really going to be tested, when this devil starts to bring in this system and makes it mandatory and starts to tell you that unless you, acquiesce into this system, you assimilate yourself into this system, they're going to be able to use this to separate you from society. You see, and this is going into the whole transhumanism, that these devils are pushing. How you hear the Klaus Schwab and the WEF speaking about merging man with machine. And these devils literally said that if you don't merge with this technology that these devils are using for this fourth industrial revolution, you will basically be banned from participating in society. And these digital ID system is just the prerequisite or the lead up to them being able to implement this beast system of complete and total control. But they're going to present it as peace and safety, and how, if you want to receive particular services from the government, that if you don't eventually, get with the sign of the times and, assimilate yourself into these systems, then guess what? You won't be able to receive these particular, the rewards of being a part of this system. So, you see, this is where, this is why they want to bring a universal basic income. This is how in the future, if you want to receive, medical attention or insurance, or if you want to receive your universal basic income, your CBDCs, your right to board a plane or to get on to board a train, to have a driver's license, to have a lot of the, you know, um, basically permission to do particular things. You're gonna have to eventually be a part of this world beast system, which you're gonna have to bow down and worship, this system in Esau Edom as a god. And this system is just the way that they're gonna slowly introduce everybody into it. So let me read some of this article. It's going to show you how. All right. It says the United Kingdom is set to roll out a digital identification system in 2025, which we're a couple of weeks away from 2025. You see, and this is going to be the new wave that these devils are going to push, and they're going to eventually make it to where you're going to have no choice. Well, you're going to have a choice, but they're going to make it seem as if, you have no choice. If you want to receive particular, you know, um, handouts or particular, things from the government. Like I said earlier, if you want medical insurance, if you want to be able to be seen by a doctor, if you want to have a driver's license, if you want to have you know, your so-called rights to do particular things, it's going to be through this system, which they'll have total control and to be able to, monitor and track every single thing that you do. You see? But this is just all part of their the system they're rolling out, which will eventually lead to the MOTB being subdermally implanted inside of you. But first, it's going to come in the form of apps, of digital wallets. It's going to be less abrasive. It's going to be able, you're going to be able to use it for a while on your phone, but eventually it's going to all go inside the body, which will be the MOTB that the scriptures speak about. All right. It says the new initiative, which will utilize smartphones and facial recognition technology, aims to streamline various government functions, from purchasing alcohol and accessing veteran services to paying taxes and accessing bank accounts. You see? So they're showing you that in order for you in the future to have access to these particular things, you're going to have this system. You're going to have to acquiesce and get involved, with this system in order to receive these things. Otherwise, you'll be restricted. You'll be unable to have access to these things unless you, submit yourself to these new systems that they're doing. And like I said, at first, it's going to be through these apps, which is no big deal, whatever. It is what it is. But we know it's going to get to the point to where it's going to get even more invasive, more and more, you know, um, a situation to where it's going to become compulsory or mandatory, or it's going to be a law that if you don't have these things, guess what? They could cut you off from society. You won't have access to these different government functions and basically being a part of this society. You'll be shunned. You'll be outcast. You'll be ostracized unless you eventually get with this new digital beast system, man. And it's all a trap, man. You see? It's all a trap, and it's all being done, you know, and hope that people think that this is more convenient, that it's easier, that they're doing these systems to make life easier for everybody on this planet Earth. No, it's ultimately to lure you into this new MOTB system to where, he's going to leave you no choice but to bow down and to worship him. You see, because eventually one of the ways that you're gonna, one if pretty much if you want to have food or have access to food and water, which he who controls the food and the water can rule over the people, and that's all that this system is gonna eventually do. And this is why, it's being set up the way that it's being set up. And they showed you that during the whole the pandemic. If you didn't have the proper, you weren't allowed to go. In particular states, you wasn't allowed to go to restaurants. You wasn't allowed to go to the movie theater. You wasn't allowed to go into particular places and do business if you didn't have that thing. And this is no different, But this time it's going to be, involved around the whole system. It says, according to government sources, the digital ID system available through certified companies will allow individuals to prove their age and identity instantly when entering pubs, clubs, and shops, as well as for various online transactions. You see, so this is where the whole system is eventually going to go. But we know it's going to come in the form of that digital that micro C hip, and it's going to be that if you don't have the micro C hip, eventually you're going to be barred and banned from any of these things. You won't be able to prove your identity. You won't be able to show who you are as a functioning member of society, because this is going to be your badge into this new digital beast system. If you want to be identified, if you want to be allowed to do this, allowed to do that, you're going to have to eventually have your micro C hip scanned, and you're gonna have to, have the badge of the Antichrist, man, which is gonna be that MOTB system. You see what they're doing, how they're doing it. It says the technology promises more efficient service delivery. See, this is where they promise you the peace and safety, but we know it's going to come with certain destruction. It says the technology promises more efficient service delivery, particularly for veterans who will gain quicker access to support programs through digital veteran cards. Young people will be able to use government-backed digital ID cards to prove they are old enough to drink alcohol under legal changes to take effect next year. The Telegraph said in a report Sunday, December 8th, they will be able to sign up to digital ID companies that are certified against government set standards for security and reliability, and then use the app on their smartphone to prove they are over 18 when visiting pubs, restaurants, and shops. You see, and that's the trap. Eventually, like I said, it'll be on your phone. You can show your digital ID through your phone, but once it goes to that next level, it's going to be your MOTB. All right. Then you'll be able to scan your micro C hip, and it's going to have everything that your phone is being used for at first, eventually is going to be inside of you. You will become the smartphone. You will become the QR code, and everything that you need to receive these benefits and these things from the government will be in your right hand or in your forehead. No. It says, so that people can prove their identity for everything from paying taxes to opening a bank account using the government backed app. So in the future, if you want to have a bank account or your CBDC, if you're not linked with this system, guess what? You won't have a bank account. You won't be able to function or exist in this society that this devil is creating, man. You see? And this is why we always do videos saying that all roads are leading to the MOTB. All of this digital shit is all leading to that MOTB. All right. And it says what? Critics raise concern over potential state overreach. And of course, and this is what it's all about. Control, man. But like I said, they're going to present it as convenient and as, as safe and effective to make things run more smoother, but they're not going to come out and tell you that, yes, this is a total slave and control system that we're implementing. They're not going to present it to you like that, because the people would say hell to the no. The people would rebel. The people would fight against it. But if you give it to them piecemeal, little by little, we'll just have you do this just, for your driver's license at first. You give it to them little by little, it becomes more, it's not as heavy, but if you do it little by little and gradually you do it, it's a little bit easier to get to people. If we just do it only for this and only for that, and then tell you, oh, well, we'll never do it for you to have to have this. Oh no, we'll never use the technology for that. But then next thing you know, they're going to be using that technology for that thing, and then eventually they're going to make it to be mandatory and a law to where you can't get around it, man. So, it's going to leave you with no choice. And this is how they're going to be able to kill, which I'm going to read in Revelations 13 and 16, to kill those who won't receive, the mark of the MOTB. It says critics, however, have raised significant concerns over the potential for state overreach in the creation of a two-tiered society. Yeah. David Curtin, leader of the UK Heritage Party, warns that the program could eventually become mandatory. And that's what it's going to come. It's going to eventually become mandatory. All right. Like I said, this is why all roads lead to the MOTB, because they're only going to leave you. This is going to be the only option on the table. Either you're going to bow down and worship Esau, Edom, subject yourself to this system, take your MOTB, or you're going to put your faith and trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, that he's going to provide for you, that he's going to be able to deliver you, when this devil comes down with that great wrath, and he has the ability to, to kill or to separate you from his society, telling you can't buy or sell or have food or do anything inside of our new world unless you play by our rules, and that's when our faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to have to be fully, fully on display. All right. It says, he warns that the program could eventually become mandatory, leading to a scenario where those without digital IDs face discrimination and barriers in accessing services. You see, this is why we keep telling you that it's a system of control. All right. Either you're going to get down with this system, or like I said, like Klaus Schwab said, or you won't be able to function in society, man. You see, and like I said, and it's going to all eventually lead to the MOTB. It says another point of contention is the potential for the government to remotely disable digital IDs, effectively barring individuals from essential activities if they are deemed to have violated unspecific norms. Right. This is where your social credit score is going to come in. This is where once you're linked into the system, hey, you're basically at the mercy of this damn devil. And this is why it's going to get to the point to where once you inside this system, whatever he tells you to do, you will have to obey. It's a digital slave system. This is why he'll be able to put you in a 15-minute city. Or if he wants to just tell you, look, if you live in California and you're in this beast system, he can just decide to send you an email saying, look, you've been relocated to Montana somewhere, and you're going to live in this 15-minute city. And, basically, if he tells you to get up and do that, you're going to have to do it. Otherwise, he can just turn off your C-HIP. He can turn off your, delete you out of the system to where, you won't be able to have access to these different services, man. You see, and this is how they're going to be able to control behaviors. They're going to be able to control, every single thing about you, man. All right. And him to be able to play God via this digital system. You see? It says critics like this to social credit systems, which they claim to be used to monitor and to control citizen behavior. You see, and this is what this is all about, man. You see, this is nothing more than the beast system being implemented and rolled out right before your eyes, man. You see, it says government officials insist that the digital ID system will not be mandatory, which is a goddamn lie. Because like I said, how is it going to be able to make it mandatory? Is because you won't be able to access particular things from the government if you don't have these systems. You see, they're going to make everything about this new world that he's building. Everything is going to flow through this system. You know, everything that you're going to need for your daily necessities, your daily life is all going to be funneled through this digital beast system. So therefore, if you're not a part of it, if you're not linked up to it, if you don't have your micro C-HIP, you can't access these services because all these businesses and services will be linked directly through this MOTB system. You see? So it is going to be mandatory, you know? It says, but critics point out that many voluntary programs eventually become compulsory, and compulsory means to be made mandatory by law. So that's exactly what it's going to be. This man's the damn liar, man. It says the latter also argue that the potential integration of digital IDs into routine shopping experiences is particularly disconcerting, suggesting that the technology may be used to monitor consumer behavior and further erode privacy. Right. Total control, because once you in this system, if you go to a particular store, he'll have the power to tell you what you can buy and what you cannot buy, what you can have access to and what you cannot have access to. And he'll deem it that he's doing that in order to save the world, to save the climate, you know, to reduce the carbon footprint on this planet Earth and to save humanity. But really, it's to ultimately enslave humanity, man. You see, and this is why it's all leading to the MOTB. You see, it says while the government argues that the technology will enhance efficiency and security, yeah, for them, for the powers that be, but not for you everyday slaves into this system, opponents fear it could mark the beginning of a surveillance state, further complicating the relationship between governments and their citizens. Oh, yeah, see, it's like I said earlier, I did a video earlier. It says, watch this clip about the Australian government officially passing the digital ID bill down in the land down under. So they've already making it mandatory over there in Australia. And then it's going to happen over there in the UK, and then over here, then eventually it's going to come here to the United States, because this is the MOTB system, the mark of the beast system. All right. And this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 5, verse 15. It says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. You see, and this is why we do these videos, man, so that you're not ignorant and you understand. When you hear these devils talking about digital IDs 2025, you have to understand what that shit is really all about. And that is not just some surface level thing. Oh, they just want you to have your driver's license and your social security number, you know, in your digital wallet, bro. That's all it is. It's safe. It's nothing to really worry about. Well, it is something you have to worry about, because we know, you know, as long as it's in your app and on your phone and not being forced to be implemented and put inside your body, you know, there's going to come a point to where you're going to have to, decline, man. Once they start telling you that, okay, now this new digital beast system, we're going to put it inside of this little C-HIP, you know. Everything that you have on your phone, you know, they're going to be capping. It's the same thing, brother. Don't worry. It's just same thing. We're just going to just, you know, give you a little tiny incision and just slide it right here or in your forehead. You know, it's an in and out same day procedure. Hey, everybody's doing it. You know, they might promise you certain goodies. They might promise you, you know, we'll clear all your debt, or as soon as you inject it inside of you, we'll give you instantly, you know, 10 million credits or whatever, 10 million CBDC points, or 15,000 travel, or whatever. You know, they're going to promise you all type of shit, but it's all in the form of deceiving you into receiving that MOTB. All right. And this is Revelations 13 and 15, the point being in 16. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And right. And what is the beast? The beast is NATO in the EU, which America is a part of the beast, but it's more now as being this system that these devils are bringing via this new world order. You know, this technology, this digital ID rollout is part of the image of the beast. It's a part of the system that they're creating that's going to become a global system of enslavement. It says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And part of that image right now is this whole digital ID rollout in 2025. You see, and you're going to have to worship this system in order to what? To buy or sell or to receive these particular things from the government, or like, like it's saying in the article. But I want to get this word killed. But it says what? And cause that as many as that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So eventually, if you don't acquiesce to this new rollout and this new MOTB system that they're giving out, it says what? They'll have the power to kill you, right? And that's physical and non physical. But we know at the forefront is going to become more of a non physical thing. But when you go to the word is apok to know, but when you go to the root to apo, right? It says of separation, of local separation after verbs of motion from a place, i.e., not that one. It says, yeah, here we go. Of a separation of a part from the whole. You see, any kind of separation of one thing from another by which the union or fellowship of the two is destroyed. You see, and how is your union with this new world order going to be destroyed, or you're going to be separated from it if you don't eventually acquiesce to this new digital beast system, having all your biometrics in your digital wallet for now, your CBDC, your digital ID, eventually is going to come in that form of that micro C hip. And if you don't have the micro C hip, even before that, if you don't have your digital ID, the initial phase of it in 2025, however they're going to do it. All right, there's going to be particular things that you're going to need, and maybe to have a bank account or to have a driver's license or this or that. If you don't have those things, then guess what? You're going to be separated from the banking system, separated from being able to drive, being able to board a plane, being able to identify yourself, till eventually, to every form of society is going to come in the form of that micro C hip. If you don't have it, you'll be totally separated from functioning in this man's society. You see? It says, of any kind of separation of one thing from another by which the union or fellowship of the two is destroyed. You see, and what's going to enter in your union to this new digital beast system? First is going to be through these apps, through this digital wallet. And the union is going to be fully consummated via the MOTB. Right? And it says, and he cause of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. This is going to be a global system to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So you see, it's going to go from, it's going to go from this digital ID system. You're going to have to worship that and acquiesce to that till eventually the MOTB. You're going to have to receive that mark, the charagma. All right, the micro C hip in your right hand or in your forehead, and all your information and all of your, the grapho, your information, your identity, your, all of your, all of your biometrics is all going to be, all that information that you're putting within these apps and in these different things will eventually be inside of your micro C hip. Your identity, your badge of authenticity as a slave to the NWO will all eventually be inside of your micro C hip, whether it's in your right hand or in your forehead. Or who knows? They might give you multiple chips. They might give you, inject you with multiple chips for multiple, one for your CBDC, one for your medical insurance, one for this, one for that. Ain't no telling, how many of these devils could put inside of you, or maybe it just might be one with everything in it. But we know that it's a physical thing that they're going to have to put inside of you. And these devils have been telling you that at these WEF meetings for years now. You see? It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. You see? See, and this is why you can't be ignorant to these different systems that they're implementing, because we know what the end game of them all are. Is to implement this new beast system to where you will have to have the MOTB, all right, in order to be a part of society, man. Otherwise, you'll be killed, you'll be separated, you'll be left out in the cold. They might arrest you and lock you up. Or they might even put your head in the guillotine. All right. But we know that all these things are leading to the MOTB, man. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. All praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh Bashem Shai for putting the spirit of me to do this lesson. Lord willing, you were edified. Shalom.